Salute Black Goose TV family. What's good with it? Nothing but love as always, man. Hopefully everything's going amazing. Look, we got another announcement or a possible announcement or a possibility for a fight when it comes up the month of October before the end of this year, 2022. And it's shaping out and it's looking like October is going to be an absolutely crazy month. We got Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr. official for October. We got Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde supposed to be happening in October. And now we have the possibility of seeing the great Deontay Wilder making his return against Robert Helenius in October. Now, you got to sit back, you got to chill. You're going to be like, I don't know how legitimate this, this report is. Where is this coming from? Is this speculation? Is this, I heard from someone and I heard here, or is this, I was watching the interview and I dissected this from it, or is this the actual words coming from Wilder's mouth, right? Or an official statement coming from Wilder's team, right? Or is this at least a somewhat of a soft announcement from the promotional company? That's where you can take these particular announcements serious, right? Or is this just, writer or, the particular site that I'm on, BlakGooseTV, they're bored and they want to put something together because we all know Robert Helenius and Deontay Wilder were sparring partners before the Tyson Fury trilogy fight. So they're like, oh, this could possibly be the fight. So we're going to find out. I don't know how legitimate this particular article is until we get into the nitty gritty. So I'm going to get into it right now. But before I do, make sure you guys hit the like button below. Most importantly, that's why I got the two fingers pointed below. Hit the subscribe button. Please be part of the Black Goose TV family, man. Don't leave yourself out, man. Subscribe to this motherfucking channel. Show some love. Let's hit 5K subscribers before the end of the year. Y'all already know what it is. And then always comment on this. I want to hear y'all's perspective. But let's go ahead and get into Boxing News 24. See if they're just speculating, making things up. Let's find out the truth. This is coming from Charles Brunn. Promoter Frank Warren says Deontay Bronze Bomber will return to action in October against heavyweight Robert the Nordic Nightmare Helenius in the States. And this is coming from Frank Warren. Why would Frank Warren be the one announcing this? So let's go down to the official. Here we are. I'm going to go ahead and highlight for you guys so you guys can see it as well. I'm going to highlight the whole thing for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. So this is coming from Frank Warren himself. And I don't understand why it's Frank Warren who's announcing this. Frank Warren obviously is the promoter that's over Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius is signed to Frank Warren Promotions. So that could make sense, but not hearing anything from Deontay Wilder, Deontay Wilder's team, Deontay Wilder's promotional company, Showtime, PBC, not hearing anything from them and not confirming this. And the first ones saying it is Frank Warren. I don't know how confident it is. Let's look at the track record of Frank Warren. He also said Joseph Parker, where Joe Joyce was supposed to be happening, and now look where we are. Frank Warren is basically saying Joseph Parker isn't a man of his word, blah, blah, blah. So I hope Frank Warren's not jumping the gun here, getting our hopes up, getting us in a position as boxing fans, especially Deontay Wilder's fans, and just putting some shit out there. And he's trying to get ahead of maybe contract talks that are a possibility, and maybe actually contract talks. You're trying to push Deontay Wilder to sign something, and it seems like he is, but he's trying to figure out, lay back, and, decide what's the best option for him. Frank Warren putting something out to the public might put a little bit of pressure on Deontay Wilder, because now you're gonna have more people, alluding to the fact that the fight doesn't happen, that maybe it's on Wilder's side, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case in this particular instance, because I just don't think Helenius is that big of a fighter for that to be happening. But this is what he ended up saying. Deontay is fighting in October. He's coming back, and they're talking about him fighting Helenius, and now be in the States. Said Frank Warren to talk sport boxing about Deontay Wilder. Now, let me take back also, I said Helenius is under Frank Warren Promotions. I'm not sure about that. Actually, let me take that back. He's probably not. I think he's under PBC. But I'm not sure, though, 100%. I don't know who he's under. I love to do that fight, so he must be under Frank Warren. But he is coming off a bad knockout. There's no doubt about that. That was a bad knockout against Tyson Fury, who was a tough fight for him. So that is the words coming from Frank Warren. It looks like it's really just mostly speculation. They're saying there's talks. That means there's rumors. It seems like no one's necessarily approached Frank Warren or Helenius about the fight actually happening. But it's out there, man. It's out there in the public, apparently. And it's been, circled around when it comes to promotional companies. I just don't know how accurate it is. Like I said, I haven't heard anything from Wilder's camp. Obviously, this is the early stages of it. Most fights that are happening in October aren't going to be announced as early as like a Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr. That is a very early announcement for a Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Ben fight. So that means that they're wanting that fight to be a big fight. They want that to be a big turnout. The reason why they're announcing it that early. So they're probably going to start promotional marketing for that fight very, very soon because they probably feel like that's a mega fight. So that's a very rare occurrence. You can see Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde is speculated, but it hasn't been announced yet, but we know it will be. Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. The only reason I'm skeptical on this is because Wilder hasn't really made known that he wants to come back this year. I would expect it to be next year, but who knows? Let me know what y'all think. BlakGooseTV, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Love as always on Sports Nigga side of the game. I'll be back. More boxing. Much love. Stay blessed.